Hello again, Dwayne Brummett here with Ali Albarigo, schoolintertalk.com. Good morning, Ali. Nice to be with you, sir.
Nice to be with you too. What happened? All of a sudden we had it said good, let's start, and then boom, you were there, and
Ali Albarigo, schoolintertalk.com. Well, I put the wrong intro in. I put our
oh no,
outro in to start us rather than the intro. So go
oh
figure,
okay.
right?
Either way, it's good because they both talk about our sponsors, right, and people that have helped us and so on. So cool to be back with you again. I can't believe, dude. Is it same for you? Like how quick the year has gone by? Like
Yeah,
I don't.
totally.
Is it because that old saying, as you get older, things move quicker? But like, I'm like, I can't believe it's like almost middle of September. It is the middle, almost October, and I'm talking about Halloween parties and Christmas parties and stuff like that. I'm going like, it seemed like we just started the year 2 months ago.
We got what, 9 days left because there's only 30 days in September. So
Yeah, insane, right?
yeah, big time.
I know, and that's where lies the problem. I think a lot of times for people who run schools, where they're kind of like caught behind the eight ball, always like catching up and not planning ahead, and that's what I think today we wanted to talk about events and the way to put an event together. And the reason why I thought of that topic is because I actually have my Halloween party coming up, and I was really impressed the other day. I just launched my automation for my Halloween party, which is, the sequence of emails and things and so on. And within the very hour that I launched it, I had 10 signups. So like, it's pretty cool when you have things in place that work that well, like, concert tickets. And then before you know it, all the scalpers have all the tickets within seconds, that kind of thing.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah, so I guess that's what we want to talk about today. Any thoughts on that? I know you do events at your place. You do all different events. You're going to do, you do the karate for the holidays and things of that nature. You do special seminars, holiday visits from schools. So, do you have any tips of information that people should be doing to make their events hop and pop?
Well, there's categories. We've talked about this before. There's categories of events. So, you want to segment your population first and foremost, I
Yeah,
think. So
yeah,
you have your adults, maybe your teenagers, your preteen down to adolescence and below.
right.
So I think it's important to segment your list, and then from there decide what kind of events would those particular people on that in those lists would actually attend those type of things. So,
Yeah,
for instance, a real easy one for your 3 and 4 year olds, and even 5 and 6 year olds, I would still separate them and have two separate events. Would be like a ninja obstacle course that you could create
right,
for that. But in a martial arts school, most of us don't have the opportunity, like the parkour places or the gymnastic places,
right,
that they could actually do more of a adolescent to teenage type ninja obstacle course
right.
compared to what we can do. So that's why, as martial artists, we probably can bring it down to 3 and 4 year olds and 5 and 6 year olds. And that would be a great event for them to come in and spend an hour and do a ninja obstacle course type thing. So
Yeah,
the reason you want to segment those individual or segment your population is because, yes, some events like the holiday parties, right? The Christmas parties, maybe even the Halloween parties, almost everybody, if not everybody, can attend. But if you're going to do a Nerf night, your 3 and 4 year olds aren't going to be able to attend because they're not going to be able to load the darts into the gun
right.
or into the blaster. Sorry to be politically correct.
Yeah,
Can't say the bullets and the guns anymore, right? And
right.
then your adults, unless you're going to do an adult Nerf night, which we've done a family one before where it was parents against kids. That was a blast.
Hmm.
But that was even segmented too, because again, we weren't having 3 and 4 year olds and 5 and 6 year olds in there. We were doing 7 and up with their
Right,
parents.
right.
And you don't want to leave a segment of your population out. You don't want
Right.
them to feel like they can't ever attend anything. So you need
Mhm.
to that I think that's first and foremost, is to segment your list and then decide what are things that what are events that I can create to target those specific lists. I think that's a
Yeah.
good place to start.
Well, I think that's an excellent place to start. Like I think that I've always talked about that, like that you call it segmenting, I call it segregation of the list or whatever it may be right now. Um, for
Segregation is not a good word, just so you
Yeah,
know.
that might be the word. That's why segmenting might be better these days. But interestingly enough, though, those three reasons why we want to separate our list, and number one is so that we create a listening population. So, in other words, like if you pound your list so much over and over again with information that they don't want to hear or read, or it's not pertaining to them, eventually they're going to just see your email come through and hit delete without even reading it. It could say, "This is the most important thing that you ever read," delete, because they don't believe it, right? So we want to make sure that we're talking to the population about stuff that's relevant to that population. So just like you said, you wouldn't do a send out a deadly knife fighting seminar with a killer knife fighting guy to the 3-year-olds. Yes, you might hit a father or a mother that might want to learn that, but rarely, right? So they're really looking at your emails as information for their child that's going to your school, or their teen, and adults are as well. So what you do is, if you don't hit the people with the right message, you create white noise, and eventually they're going to just hear that buzzing and shut it off. So what you said is super, super important.
Yeah, I'm also going to add on to that too, or you might make some people a little angry with the
Yeah.
messaging that's coming
Yeah.
across. And I'll give you an exact, for instance. So every Tuesday I do a transformational Tuesday. So I am spotlighting one of my clients through their transformation. Well, I had a few, I had a few parents that were not happy that, and I didn't realize this. So inside of our system, right, inside of Spark, you can put multiple emails in there. And
Yeah.
so on some of our teenagers, we have the parents' email, but we also have the kids' email.
Okay.
And you know how it works, where when you with a contact, if you're sending an email to that contact, it's going to go ahead and send both emails.
Mm.
One,
Okay.
two. So I had teenage girls getting a transformational picture of someone, and I had one parent specifically, but since I had one that actually spoke up, there's probably other ones, right, that were a little maybe perturbed, that didn't speak up. She was like, I don't want my teenage girl looking at this and then thinking, okay, is my body not good enough? Which
Mm.
I get what she's saying. These people, and with the girl, that like her daughter that she's talking about, is nowhere near overweight. Not
Right.
even like not she's in great shape, but
Hmm.
mentally I see where she's coming from. And so, even just you got to be careful on, like you brought up, the messaging and who it's going to, because you really
Right.
can alienate your clients.
Yeah, and that's exactly why we segregate, right? I mean, and also too, if someone doesn't feel that it's relative to them, they're shutting you down. You don't even that you have no chance of getting them back. They're just going to be gone, right? And that's the unfortunate thing. So I think that that's super important, and making sure that people realize that's the key to communication. Like I said, when I launched my automation for my Halloween party and I had immediate signups, I'm like, that's a good feeling, going like, wow, it created a buzz, and people read it, and boom, that email sequence, just the first one, for my Halloween party I sent out yesterday, all of a sudden, boom, I had results. I'm like, wow, that's kind of a cool feeling, knowing that the communication turns into finances, or turns into signups, and so on. So
Yep.
I think that that's the key. So I follow, or do you follow a certain methodology? Like, hey, I'm going to promote a Nerf Wars at my school. These are the things that I do. Do you have like a certain setup for that? Like, what are the main staple things you do to market your school events?
Yeah. So I do. So the first thing is, obviously you got to schedule the event. Place it accordingly in your
Right.
schedule. So, and we've talked about this before. I think that some events are, and probably should be, cyclical. So a Halloween party should obviously be in October. A Christmas party should obviously be either December or January, depending on when you annually do that type of party. So
Right.
some of those are going to be in the same thing every single year.
Right.
So that's first and foremost. I like to promote 3 weeks out. So I think I really don't. 1 week is not enough at all.
No.
2 weeks is really pushing it. I think, but 3
Yeah.
weeks gives you a cushion so people don't feel like they're getting bombarded with text messages, push notifications, and emails. What do you, before I go any farther with that, what
Yeah.
do you think about
I
that?
I go way like right now, I've been promoting my Halloween party for about a week or so on the app. So people knew it was there. And then I launched my sign up yesterday. So what is it? This is the 21st. We have another, it's 5 weeks out. And I started 6 weeks out. I usually do, 6 to 7 weeks of promotion. And then as I draw closer, I start turning up the heat. But
Ah,
you know what I've realized too, though, Dwayne, is like for me, I look at advertising that I get advertised to from companies. And there was a guitar guy that was doing guitar lessons, and I signed up for his free whatever thing, And after that, I must have received 200 emails from him, 200 like every day, like nonstop. But I was watching this, and the program was like $700. I'm like, I'm not paying $700 for that. And then it got to 400, and then I could see the trend. And then finally I bought it at like $57, like, a good, you know, 8 weeks later, and I ended up purchasing. So his consistency still got me to buy. And for the people that were ready to pull the trigger at the 600, he got that package of people. Then at the 400, he got that group of people. And at the 300, and then for the cheap guys like me at the $57 package, right? But funny, when I bought my $57 package, it wasn't really the package I was looking for. It was only a small portion of what he was selling for the 600, but he didn't make it sound like that. So I was a little disappointed, and I opted out of his list because I felt like it was a bait and switch,
okay.
even though I was paying the cheapest thing. But my point was, though, that there were hundreds of emails that went out. Sometimes I would just delete, and his email topic subject lines are pretty interesting. Like, I'm sorry if I pissed you off. Are you mad at me? I'm mad at you, like, for not taking advantage of this deal. Like, and I would open it inevitably. Sometimes I would think it was before reading who it came from, I thought it was like an angry client or something. And I'd open it and go, damn, it's him again. So like, I think we have to be careful that we don't believe that we're over marketing to people, because people are just not listening as easily as they used to, right?
Yeah.
It could take 20, 30, 40 communications before they actually hear it. I mean, I'm sure you have it when you close for a specific holiday and people ask you, even though you sent out 20 emails, you have it on your newsletter, it's on your website, it's on your app. Are you open tomorrow? Like, didn't you see any of the stuff that I gave to you? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, exactly. So yeah, at least weeks ahead of time, right, to promote.
Absolutely.
I like what you're saying though. If you're going to do, 6 weeks or whatever ahead, what you're advocating is it's a trickle. It's a slow trickle in the
Yeah.
beginning for the first week of the advertising, and then by the last week, you're like, hey, this is it.
Yeah.
And you might be sending an email a day or three
Exactly.
emails that week or whatever.
Well, we do that with our tournaments, right? We just had a tournament. I sent you pictures from the tournament this past weekend. We had almost plus 300 plus competitors and probably about like 700 spectators in the venue. But we market like once to twice a week, months in advance, and then it goes down. And then we kind of take a break, and we'll do like once a week, and then we start ramping it up, and we're doing 2 a week. But we're marketing emails, then we're doing our website platform, our Facebook platform, and we're really banging it out. And
Yep.
what I found, and I don't know about you, like lately, everyone is last minute. Like they wait till the last, like, I mean, like literally that saying, the last minute, like right before the doors are about to lock. Hold on, don't shut the door. I have money, that kind of thing. It's almost like, why does everyone wait? But that's the nature of our lives right now.
Well, and you actually, the way you tier it, you're going to make more money if
Yeah.
they wait. So
Yeah. And I don't think they care though. Like we charge an extra $10 if they wait past a certain deadline. But that creates that urgency for those to want to save money to join early. But most people are like, I'll pay the fee. I'll wait because I don't know what's going to come up. Maybe I'll get sick, or maybe I'll be sick that day. Like, or maybe, something else better will come along. And
Sure.
that's really what it is. So there are a few things like, that urgency sale, like, if you have a certain cutoff, but certain people say, hey, we only take 40, but they really take 60 and they're lying about it. And then people see that and they're like, oh, that was fake anyway. So you got to be really, hey, listen, I'm down to 5 people. That's what I do towards the end. We're down to 7, we're down to 6, we're down to 3, last 3. And then and I'll cut them off. That's it. I could make more money on all the stragglers, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stick to my guns and really have a legitimate cutoff time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So to go back to your original question, in today's day and age, there's more work to be done to advertise your event than it used to be.
Mm,
So what did we used to do? We would maybe put it on our blog if we had a blog.
right.
We would put it on our Facebook page,
Yeah.
and then we would print out flyers and make
Hmm.
posters, and that
Yeah.
was it. And then what else would we do? We would announce it in class.
Hmm.
I don't know about you, but do you see that? And we'll go through all of the stuff in just a second here. But do you see that now that we can do the email, text messages, the push notification, we can put it on the app. I mean, just all of those things, plus your blog, your Facebook page. I mean, just all of that stuff. Do you find that when you do all that stuff, I find that I actually forget to announce it in class.
Right. Right.
Like the thing that I used to always do, talk to
Yeah.
people face to face and go, "Hey,
Yeah.
are you coming to XYZ? I
Mm,
didn't see you sign up yet." I I don't want to say overwhelmed, but it's just there's so much more stuff to advertise and to get that information out. It just gets to be crazy. But the nice thing about it is the cyclical events rather than the one-time events. And you can do it with the one-time events to a certain degree, but the cyclical events, once you actually build it, then you just, obviously create a reminder for you to do it at the same time next year,
right.
6 weeks ahead of time, 3 weeks ahead. And then all you do is you just make sure everything matches what it's supposed to say. And then you start the automation again. Right.
Right. Right.
So for us, that's the thing. I try to begin with the end in mind. Like, so for instance, one, how many people do I want to attend? How much do I want to charge if it's not a
Right.
free event? And then, how do I want to build this so that I can just plug and play it the next time?
Well,
And I
that's
think a
what I,
lot of us,
no,
I
that's
was
what
gonna
I
say,
did.
okay,
Yeah, no, exactly what you said. I just basically took my checkout page, updated it from Spark. I took my automation, updated it, and then sent it. It literally took me no time at all. Initially it took me hours, and now I'll be able to use it over and over and over again with just changing the date out. And if I had to adjust the price or whatever the case may be. But yeah, you're totally right. 100%. It makes your life so much easier.
absolutely. So, yes, we do emails. We also put text messages into the
Hmm.
automations as well.
Yeah.
And then what we do is we will take the text messages and like alter the days. So like if today there was a text message about an event, we would take that same text message and also like we would schedule ahead for a push notification on the app
Right.
so that they also get an app notification
Yeah.
as well. So we're just, we're hitting all of our levels. And then, of course, with our app through Spark, we're able to on the homepage, put an event on there. And then the shopping cart can be inside of the app as well. So people can sign up on that,
Yeah.
so yeah, there's just all of those things. Plus I have a TV that, and I forget the service that I use, SoundCloud. That's it, SoundCloud.
Okay.
And so I have events and pictures and other things that are up there that flash all the
Great.
time throughout the whole time that people are there.
That's
So
awesome. So let's quickly, I'm hearing you and I both referencing Spark related stuff. So if listeners are not on Spark, understand that we won through our software. And again, Spark is one of our sponsors, but I would talk about this even if they weren't, because I love their software so much because it makes my life easy. Right. So we have the ability to send out text messages at the push of a button to all our clientele. We could set it up ahead of time. We could schedule it out. We have the emails as well. We could have that sent out to our entire clientele, customized. Dear Johnny, this is your event, attaching flyers and, a checkout page where they could click and buy. Our checkout page is basically like a landing page where people could sign up and pay right through their credit card on Spark through our
on
software.
file.
So yeah, on file. So I have it where all these people that I sent out in my automation, they signed up on their own, clicked their credit card and paid. And I got the notification for the 10 people or so that signed up the other day. The other thing too, you mentioned the app. We all have either a free app or a paid for app. Where the students have it on their telephone, and then they're able to purchase items through the app. And whether it be, whatever we want to sell, whether it be a t-shirt sale or an event sale, but they could, and then we have a dashboard that you could have all your events, all those things that you want to talk about. So it's like a main hub of communication, which is amazing because, I used to struggle to get the word out and not have, like, some people would go to my website, some people would go, and I had a Facebook page. The Facebook page was a private group. But even that there was a private group, not everyone got the message. They'd say, I didn't see the post. And I go, come on, that's impossible. But I found out that Facebook would not release the whole entire post to everyone in my database, even if they were an opt-in in my group. So they would pick and choose who they sent it to and who they didn't send it to, which is very, very bad for me to market through them and use my them as a communication tool.
Yeah. Yeah. But now, I don't know about you, we train everybody to really rely on the app.
Yep. Me too. It's the best, right? Because you have a question, go to the app. You want to sign up, it's on the app. We're closed. We have a winter closing schedule. I just put it up on the app. Everyone and it'll send out a push like a text message to everyone on their alerts.
Well, check this out. So, like we talked about on the homepage of the app, you can put events on there, right?
Yeah.
Or just announcements is what it's called.
Right.
But we have one that's called our yearly calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So we create our whole year in advance of when we're closed, our sparring weeks, our testings, just all of those things.
That's great.
But then on there, and you probably can't see it, but so can you see that where it says yearly calendar, that red?
Yeah.
All right. So I click on that and it pulls up a PDF file that's an image.
Right.
See that?
Yep.
Okay. But underneath it is our Google Calendar. So our Google Calendar is inside of there. And all they have to do on the bottom of our Google Calendar is they can subscribe to our Google Calendar. And then all of those things get automatically put into their phone.
That's great. Yeah.
And then besides that, when we have an event, we put it into the Google Calendar.
Right.
Whether, and that's just any event that we do. So yeah, 3 and 4 year olds, their parents would see the knife fighting event, even though that the 3 and 4 year olds aren't going to go, but it's just in their calendar. It says a reference to them. If they, want more information about it, they need to go into the app, obviously, to sign up. Right. But that's a whole nother level too, that we do is we have our Google Calendar inside of the app.
Yeah, that's great. And I also have a monthly calendar, and it tells everybody what gear to bring each week and so on. So that's amazing though. So I love the technology.
That's a lot of work.
Dude, that's what my friend and I were just saying this morning at our Wednesday breakfast meeting, is like, people think that we go to our school and teach martial arts, dry off the sweat and go home, and that's all we do. And all of a sudden we're bringing bags of money home, hiding it under our bed. And there's like so much behind the scenes stuff that school owners do that the clients have no clue about, putting together curriculum and making an event like this happen, and making the checkout page and the automation page, all to market it so that people come to it. It's a lot of work, and people don't quite realize that. So it's tough. So let me give you a few that I do. I have like a certain system. I just shared this with one of my clients this morning, where I gave him like 9 things that we do to market consistently on any event, whether it be Nerf Wars, Parents' Night Outs, Halloween party, a tournament. So the first thing we do is we put up some sort of banner of communication flyer in our school. Now, for my Halloween party, we have years ago, we bought these little light up jack-o'-lanterns from Michael's. It's a craft store. And it has a countdown with the timing countdown for Halloween.
Can you start all that over? I lost you.
I think you froze too. So I don't know if we both froze, or it was just, you were frozen, not me. I think. But I'll start it over.
Yeah, recap that just because I missed it all.
Okay, so in my school we have some sort of banner, a communication flyer, like saying, visually people would see Halloween party. I usually do 11 by 17. I have this cool angled stand that I buy, and then I have a sign up sheet where I literally will put everyone's names down, because the old social media was handwritten, where people would go, "Oh, Dwayne's going, Allie's going. I'm going to go. I want to be with them. Sensei so and so will be, will be there. I'm going to go." So we have this kind of banner flyer sign up sheet. But we in our school bought these jack-o'-lanterns that are from Michael's, the craft store, many years ago. And they're like a jack-o'-lantern with a witch's head on it, and it has a digital clock countdown. So we count down to the Halloween party. So we don't count down to Halloween. So we have X amount of days, 29 days, 28 days, and 34 seconds, all the way down until the day. And that's sitting in our lobby clicking away. And then we have the flyers hanging off of the jack-o'-lantern. So that's a big visual, right? So when people come in, "Oh, what is this?" And, "Oh, I saw that on the app." And it's a reinforcement. We have to have this whole focused effort on our marketing plan. It's got to be the biggest thing that we're doing.
Do you remember 10, 12 years ago when the marketers would say, yeah, you need to have seven to 10 touches?
Yeah.
And now everybody is saying, you really need to have more like 12 to 15.
I think it's more like 20 to 30.
I'm telling you, yes.
Right? It's got to be at least that, right? So it's because people have become very good at not listening. Like and by the way, yeah, exactly. Exactly. By the way, that you can't blame people, because like the amount of marketing that shoots into our brain on a daily basis, it's beyond, like, before cell phones and before computers, that, you had the radio and TV and visual ads, right? Nowadays with target marketing, no matter what I do, there's ads, no matter what you watch. If you don't have a premium channel, and pay extra, you're going to see commercials. You're going to get on YouTube I have YouTube music playing, and I didn't put my account in. Every 10 minutes, it would time it out and put on a commercial, and then it would freeze the YouTube account, so it wasn't playing music on it. So anyway, we have to understand that we have to be over the top when it comes to marketing. You, as an owner of a business, you can't feel like you're bothering people, because the people that you feel like you're bothering are the ones that are not going to remember that you're doing anything or hear you. So, if they hear it and they know about it, they could shut it off in their mind. They're not going to get mad and say, "That's all Dwayne talks about." No, it's an upcoming event. That's what we're trying to get it to, so that you come to it. Yeah. Like, if we don't put the effort forward, who's going to do it? That kind of thing. Right.
Yeah, and follow up is the key, and I think what you're saying is true. There's a fine line between annoying someone and informing them,
right?
But I just think if you do it with the right intentions,
right,
for you can sleep at night and know that you did it with the right way. You're not trying to piss somebody off, and if they're going to take it that way, they're going to take it that way.
Yeah, but let's talk about that for a minute. Like, if I was selling, I don't know, Coca-Cola is trying to promote their brand. Do you think their marketing people say, "Let's kind of cut back on the marketing because we don't want to piss people off"? No, they just bombard the marketplace, right? McDonald's, they're like, "Nah, let's cut it. I think we've marketed a lot this month. Let's pull back. We don't want to piss people off and make them buy our hamburger," right? They're constantly not, like, I think we're in one of the industries where we feel this kind of social consciousness that we're afraid of people getting annoyed because we want to do our job and business and run it like a business. And we kind of sometimes feel like we shouldn't. And by the way, if people don't want to hear our message, they could opt out. They could shut us off. They don't have to. If they're going to get pissed off because we're trying to promote our business, then they're probably not the right people to have around, if they can't understand it. We're just trying to promote. And by the way, a Halloween party makes us X amount of dollars, but it's a hell of a lot of work. So if they think that we're trying to make a living off of running around with kids screaming in costumes, I can think of 1,000 other ways that I could make money that would be more enjoyable to me than that. Right.
Oh, so my gosh. Yeah.
This is a service for their children. So number one, I have a banner, right? And then I have this digital clock countdown. So I'm creating this brand awareness around the Halloween party. The other thing that we're doing, of course, is we have it on our website. We post it on Facebook. We have it on our Instagram account. So we're tying those things in. So no matter if they're fans, no matter where they go, they're going to hear about this Halloween party. Right. And then we're doing this automation, which is like a 6-week advertising, email, text message, email, email, text messages to go out with the countdown with a sign up page. And then we also have a push notifications through the app, which is separate than texting and emailing, so that people get those notifications. And like you said, it's on the dashboard of the app. It shows with a picture with the flyer, and they can click on it and join. So we want to have no rock unturned when it comes to promoting our event. You know, we want to have that all going out. So any other things that you do on top of that?
No, not really. But think about, and I don't know if you still do this, but you know, you had talked about before when you had an event, and let's just say it's for 3 and 4 year olds and 5 and 6 year olds, and you already know that you have 20 people signed up. You have, but you actually have 40 people that could come.
Right.
You would have your program director get on the phone and call those other 30 people, or you know, whatever it was, and say, hey, did you know about this? Is he going to come? Blah, 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 blah. I mean, that was perfect.
Well, dude, think about this. And I years ago, I talked about the story about when I went to Japan, and I hung out with these ninjutsu guys that had birds. They were hunter birds, like hawks, ravens, owls, and they would take them out hunting, and they'd release the bird. And then they, as people, would run around and shake the bushes, and then little, you know, animals would run out, and the birds would swoop down and catch the rabbit or the squirrel. So I made an article called Shaking the Bushes, and that's exactly what you just said. So let's just say we have 40 eligible people and we get 20. Sometimes we go like, wow, we're doing pretty good. We got 50% of the people to come to our party, and we're okay with that. Normally we're satisfied. We put it to rest. Next year we say, if we want more, we advertise better. We make a prettier flyer. You know, we yell louder, you know, that kind of thing. But we turn out with the same results. So what we forget is to thank the people who came, give them some sort of reward. And what I mean by that is maybe $2 off, or $4 or $5 off the next event, a coupon for coming. So it kind of ensures that they're coming back. The other thing that we want to do is find out why half of our 50% of our buying population have not engaged whatsoever. And that's where you had mentioned that you got to get on the phone and you have to ask them why, right? No, we're busy that day. Okay, I get it. Is it anything else? Is it too expensive? Do you not find a value in it? Do you not think that it's an event your kid will have fun at, et cetera, et cetera? And then you got to find out and uncover those issues. And then let's just say out of the 40 members, 50%, 20 of them went and the other 20 didn't. Imagine through calling and asking those questions, you got another 10. And I often tell my clients to do this. I said, listen, you're a week and a half away from your deadline. Our goal is 20 more people. Get on the phone and give them $10 off. Call them up and give them a $10 break. And the worst case scenario is they say, no, legitimately, we have a vacation scheduled. Well, how about this? And they've never gone to any of our events, right? How about this? We give you 50% off coupon for our next event. Because what we want to do is shake the bushes like those hunters would do to get the animals to come running out. We want to shake the bushes so that people will say, you know what, for a 50% discount, I'll try it. And let's say they try it and love it. Now we have just broken that barrier, right? Because if you look, and I look at our population of who goes, it's 99% of the same people, or, you know, sure, 95% of the same people every event. Like you can almost go, I'm going to do competition full contact basket weaving seminar. And you could literally go, I know these 7 people are going to go because they go to everything. They wouldn't miss it. It doesn't matter what it is. So we have to find out why half of our population isn't going. And we don't do that. School owners, I just had a friend of mine, I asked him to do it and he had found the time to make those calls. Those calls could have been the difference between a $500 event and a $1,000 event, right? You know, 50 people going or 100 people going. It really just matters on how much effort you want to put into it and how you can unearth or uncover why they're not listening to you. Why the white noise? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the feedback is really important because there can be some course correction that can be taken. So, you know, it's basically, you know, launch, get the feedback, make the corrections, and relaunch. Like, I mean, that's just there's like 3 steps to that whole thing. That's it. And I think, I don't know about you, we're lazy.
Yeah.
Anymore. We don't want to get on the phone and talk to people.
Yeah, I think that I agree with you. I'm lazy. I don't want to be on the phone talking to people. And even if I had program manager, they're not interested either because, phone calls, cold calls, which even though they're a client, we're cold calling them for an event that they're not attending. So we have to explain to them why and why it's so important. And quite frankly, that's hard. It's a little bit of a struggle. Like, who wants to do that? Who wants to convince someone to do something that they don't want to do? I don't think anyone, no salesperson in the world, unless you're like, when I was selling, I would be like relentless. Like, I was on the phone and I'll talk you into it. Like, that's the kind of salespeople we need to do that, but not everyone's willing to do that. And I think that that's a problem. And but it could be a massive difference. Like, it could be a massive difference in signups and turnout. So that lack of effort could really hurt us. And by the way, it's continuous, right? Because that population is not a buying population. They won't purchase. They're like, like one of my friends just said that it's shocking to me that in his school, once you get your black belt, you get a black top and red pants or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what they do, but one of the black belts said, "Nah, I'm good. I don't want to get the black top or the red pants." I'm like, first of all, it's not optional. That's the first thing. Second of all, why wouldn't you? That's an honor and a privilege to step up to that sensei black belt uniform.
Yeah.
But so they're not, "Nah, I'm good. I'm just good. Fine. I don't need it." I was like, you got to tell them, well, they get it or they don't train. But at the same time, I was shocked at the fact that they were like, "Nah, I don't care." So that's a problem right there.
Yeah, what's the culture that you're creating then at that point? So that's the question you need to ask that person, right? You need to go, well, why wouldn't you?
Exactly. Well, yeah,
X, Y, and Z.
Right. I don't know what that's about. Like, I don't, and I think there's a deeper problem there. And it might be like, it might be like, I don't want to give Dwayne or Allie any more money. That's just a money grab if they perceive it as that, right? Because sometimes people think negatively first, positively second. So again, the same thing with an event. Like, if you say to a person, you charge $40, let's say, for your event, or even $50, and it's 2 hours, that's $25 an hour. You're going to pay a babysitter $15 an hour plus feed them. And they give you nothing in return other than watch your kids. Well, now your kids could come there for the same cost or a little bit more than a babysitter. And they're getting fed, they're having fun, they're all hanging out with their friends. And, you get to go out and do your thing as a parent. I mean, you have to sell the benefits. Sometimes we're just going, Halloween party, who's going? Like, we're not parents. You could take a break for 2 hours, that kind of thing. And you could bring the sibling brother that doesn't train could come as well, that kind of thing. And I think that a lot of times we're not promoting the freedom that we give to people. We're not promoting the benefits. We're just selling a Halloween party.
Sure.
And, and that's where we also fall short. It's like selling a car, but it doesn't have anything in it. No seats, no radio, no heat. Who wants it? But when you start throwing in all the bells and whistles, like, it makes the car more attractive, right?
Yeah, I noticed though when they sell the car, they sell the feeling of how it's going to be when you own it, not necessarily the bells and whistles.
Right.
Those are features.
Yeah.
But what do those features benefit? How do those features benefit you?
Right.
That's really what they're selling.
Yeah. Well, isn't it an identity thing where, you're a BMW owner, you're a Mercedes owner, you're a Ferrari owner. Like, you feel like you fit into this certain private club mentality or culture or tribal mentality. It should be no different at our school.
Well, I mean, for 12, 13 years, whatever it was, I had a Toyota Prius.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Kind of wish I still had it for the gas prices, but I have a Ford F-150 truck. I absolutely love my truck.
Yeah.
And there is an identity when I'm driving a Ford truck and another Ford truck pulls up next to me. It's kind of like we both look at each other like, yep, we're Ford owners.
Yeah.
I'm not even a car guy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like, I have a Tesla, and you would think it would be the same way, but Tesla people seem to be a little stuck up. Like, I'll pull up next to a Tesla and I'll be like, and I'll look, and they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, why are you waving at me? Like, I figured like, hey, we're all part of the Tesla club, but they're different that way, but you're right though. It's like a culture. So again, let's just totally relate that back. That would tie into people wearing your brand more, your hats, your t-shirts, your hoodies, your jackets, right? You want to create this culture. And, the same thing goes for your events. You want your events to be known as these stellar events that people want to go to. Like I always tell my clients, and I was just telling my one client about a seminar that he just did. You said, you don't want to sell the people on the event. You want people to sell themselves on why they want to be at your event, right? And the only way to do that is by giving them a list of all the benefits that are going to make them want to be there. Almost like they're jumping in front of people in line and nudging them out of the way so they could get the ticket before the next person. If we have to sell them and convince them, then we're not doing our job well about promoting the event. And I always say, remember, it's like a red carpet premiere in a movie. You got to promote your movie. That they don't just go, okay, who cares?
Yeah, and that's your product, a red carpet premiere. I mean, that's kind of a little bit. We're not giving the farm away, but we're talking about maybe 5% of what you give in that red carpet premiere program.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, even so, bringing up red carpet premiere, and I think it's like a $40 product, right? But it goes into so much more that we forget about when we run an event. Like how do we promote that event? How post and pre, like promote it before, and then how do we promote it afterwards, right? So in other words, my good friend just brought a whole bunch of his students to our tournament. He had like 40 students. And on that Monday after the tournament, he holds this huge party. Everybody who went to the tournament comes to his party. He buys pizza and all that. And then he takes this picture of all of his students with all their trophies. And so he's smart because he's promoting how well his school did at this event. What do you think people who are seeing they're doing? They're going like, I want to do that. I want to be at that next event. And then he's able to build. He doesn't make money off of the tournaments, right? But he gets the benefit of people being excited about winning and going and practicing and this team culture. And that's what he uses, the momentum, to get him into the next event. And he has this team culture in the school. So everyone wants to do it. I think we fall short. We're like jumping from, okay, Nerf Wars this month. All right, that's done. We made a few bucks. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. And we're not really doing it with any thought in mind. Like there's no real campaign. There's no real thought of how we could. And then, by the way, can you take a picture of your last event? Could he take a picture of his students that competed and send it to the local papers? Absolutely. Could he put it up on his website and on his social media? Absolutely. Like there's so many things you could do afterwards to ride the wave of your event. Yeah, to leverage that. So the next time you do it, people have read about it in multiple forums and formats. And they go, yeah, we don't want to miss that one next time. So it really all depends on how much you want to put into the energy into this type of stuff. Sometimes I think we just kind of like a rolling from one thing to the next and checking the boxes, doing what we got to do, moving on, right? But we don't really put that time and effort in.
Well, usually the fear of loss, as opposed to, the idea of gain,
right,
motivates us more than anything else. And so when you are doing that, there is a fear of loss that those individuals that did not attend start to have. And I think that's a good thing, because then they're like, well, man, if I want to be a part of this family or this team, I need to go to those events, or I need to do those certain things. So leveraging those on the back end is genius.
Yeah, and you know what he does, my friend, by the way, his name is Anthony Arango. He owns the Martial Art Institute in Massapequa, New York. He does a better job than I do at bringing more students to my tournaments than I bring of my own students, right? So like he's got this culture, like, it's a big deal. And he's able to always bring 40, 50. I mean, there was one tournament he brought 100 students to. Wow. And he, but also too, he's there with a clipboard. Dwayne, what'd you do? You got first place in self-defense and this and that. And then he takes videos, as many videos of your performance as he can of each individual student, and he reviews with them and their corrections. So it ties very deeply into his lessons and to his structure, and becomes a retention tool. Some schools, people go and do bad and they quit and they don't want to go back, or they don't want to compete ever again. He turned that into something super popular. So, and it becomes part of the lesson plan. And by the way, this could be the same culture with our, with our parents' night outs, our Halloween party, our next black belt test that we're going to do, a big promotion. Like, it's just endless. But that the product that I sold, and I'll look it up and I'll put it in our post here, but it's the red carpet premiere. That to me is like, let's think of like, did you see the last Batman movie?
I didn't. No.
Okay, so I love Batman. Everything in my room is Batman. I have the truck there. I have the Batman head there. I have a Batman statue, Piggy. Batman is my thing, right? People buy me Batman stuff. So when the movie came out, I was super excited about it, but people immediately started trashing the movie. And I really said, you know what? I'm not going to go see it. I'll wait till it comes out on, streaming video, whatever. And when it came out and I finally watched it, it was amazing. I thought it was incredible. But remember, they had been promoting it for years before the movie came out. You'd see Batman's, the symbol with the date, and then the star Patterson, he went and did all these interviews around the country and the world in talk shows and promoting it. And other actors did the same. I mean, they'd leave no rock unturned. Everyone knew Batman was coming out. Like, it wasn't like it's a secret, right? Why are our events a secret sometimes to people? We got to really relentlessly push those products and these events and make sure that people are happy with, going or beating down the doors to get in.
Yeah.
Right.
Then they don't. Yeah. And again, I think that's creating that culture, that support and buying culture. That needs to be a part. I don't know about you, but going through with the ranks with our instructor and stuff, I didn't miss anything. I can't think of one event that I missed.
You know what? Wasn't it different though? Like, my teacher basically said, "Allie, you're coming to this event Friday." My teacher from Japan, this is why I kind of had a hard time towards the end, because him and I, we had some political mishaps where, he would go, "Allie, you bring 17 or 18 people to Japan." Like, not an easy thing to do. $5,000 a pop for everybody, set up a payment plan, stay on top of them. But I would bring 18 people to Japan. I would do whatever I could to motivate and excite people. And by the way, we would go and have the time of our lives, but it was an endeavor. But my teacher would also, when we'd walk through the door and he had a new t-shirt design, he wouldn't say, "Hey, look at our new t-shirt design." As you'd walk through the door, he'd go, "Dwayne," and you'd turn and boom, you'd catch the shirt. He'd go, "You pay me when you can. Mark him down for an extra large." Like, it wasn't asking, he was telling you, so it's like, it was a different kind of time back then. Nowadays, everyone's like I had a mom, we did our Black Belt Club seminar recently. It's free. And she said, "How much is it?" I go, "You go for free. You're in the Black Belt Club." She goes, "Okay, free's for me. Mark us in." But if it was a charge, $25 was the charge to non-Black Belt Club members, she wasn't going to go.
Yeah.
So I wonder, like, what it's, I don't know if it's finances, because I think that family just recently got back from a big Disney cruise.
No, it might be finances now.
Yeah, but my point is, like, yeah, you're right though. It could have been that money that they should have put, or that they put into their Disney cruise took away from a lot of other things. Yep. But I get it. I think though that's where we have to be a little careful. But anyway, no rock unturned. So just a recap, because we're running out of time. We have number one is a look who's going board, which could be a sign-in. It could simply be a white board that you write names on and you go, "Look who's going to the Halloween party." And you put down all the 5 people that are signed up that will be their staff members, instructors, and you put their names on there. And every single time someone joins the list, you add their name, or you let them add their name to the list. So that socially people start going, "Hey, you got to go, Joey, because look, your best friend Billy's going." That kind of thing. And I think that's super, super important for them to understand. So the look who's going board, make a flyer. Sometimes people will hold the flyer, take a picture on their phone and hand you the flyer back. I usually say, no, take it home and put it on the refrigerator, because you're not probably going to look on your phone to see the information. It's just going to go into, like, I have 7,000 photos in my phone. I don't look at them all. So like, you should take the flyer and hang it on the refrigerator, so it's a visual representation of what's going on. And then I said, then you do all the other things, whether it's a jack-o'-lantern that has a countdown, or you write down, whatever. You can even make your own out of oak tag and put up, countdown, and you have the numbers, and you just, cross it out and put a sticker over it with the new number of how many days going down. But you want to make a real heavy duty, visual representation of what's going on. What are your thoughts?
No, I think that's awesome. I'm glad you put the your red carpet premiere in there.
Yeah, I put it up in the list. See if someone's gonna sign up for it or get it. Like I said, I think it's like, what did I say the cost was? Oh, it's $49, and it's got everything in there. Like, you wouldn't believe the amount of stuff that you're missing out on when it comes to doing a special event, post and pre and during, like raffles and all sorts of stuff to do during the event. A ransom note, which I do for people fill out to get there. It's a joking, here's the ransom note, you have to fill it out in order to get your kid back. And in it has like the letters, like the old ransom notes where they cut them out of the paper and it's on the page. And then we ask them, what did you do while your kids were in the event? Parents like, oh, I went to the local restaurant, or I can't mention it, secret, like that kind of thing. And then they ask their kids, how'd you like it? And then they'll write it down. The kids go, oh, it's the best time of my life. And now I have these testimonials that I could extract from this event and put them on the next flyer. Look what Mrs. Jones said about their night out, what they did, and what their kid did and how they liked it. So there's so many ways for us to really maximize those things that we're missing out on. I think that it's pretty important. But for everybody, just take what they got out of this and utilize it.
Yeah, and I would throw this in because you had turned me on to this, is having an event journal. So when you are throwing an event, write down what you're doing, how you're doing it, even
cost of it,
just everything. And then at the end, recap the event, how it went, what you would do differently next time. That way, before you go and launch that same event next time, you're going to go back and read that event journal and make the whatever you need to alter, in order to make the next the same event, but next time do it better.
Right. Or not repeating the same mistake over and over again, going, damn, I told myself I would never do that again. Now it's on paper. So we would always, if our event was a Friday night, that following whatever meeting day, which is a Monday morning, we'd all sit down, all the staff, we'd write down what went well, what went bad, what we should have did, some ideas, how we could have changed it, how we could have set it up more smoothly, whatever the thing would be. And then we had a literal diagram. And by the way, that event journal log sheet and all that info is in the Red Carpet Premiere product launch. So, and by the way, if people don't see this and they're not on Facebook, they're listening on iTunes or from our website, they could just go to my page, takingittoTheNextLevel.com, the way it's spelled out, at takingittoTheNextLevel.com. And I have a whole bunch of products that they could jump on, little quick, cheap, inexpensive little products to help them run their school a little bit better.
Yeah, and those products are really, really good, and you basically are giving them away. I'm just going to tell you. So
thank you. I appreciate that very much.
So
cool, Dwayne. Once again, great call. Do you have any last minute things you wanted to finish up with?
No, I think we're good, man.
Awesome. So we'll end a few minutes early, which is not a lot, but I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being a friend and being on here with us. I definitely want the listeners to really realize how much information that they have in these podcasts, so that they should go and listen. Listen, if you're driving to your school every day and you have to drive more than 5 minutes, pop on a podcast and listen to it until you get through it. If you're cleaning, put the podcast in your ear pod or whatever, earbuds or whatever, and do it. And listen as you go, because even one little tiny idea could help you make a lot of money or save a client or whatever. So I think that that's pretty powerful. And we're on episode 330, I believe.
Yeah.
Crazy, right? It's amazing.
Yep. So, well, I appreciate it, Ali. Have a great day, sir.
All right, dude. You too. Take care, everybody. See you soon.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
And Management Group at growmyacademy.com, sparkmembership.com, hands down the best martial arts software for school owner management on the planet. GetKarateStudents.com, a martial arts growth consulting company for all your systems. AddHealthCoaching.com, helping school owners create a whole nother revenue stream for their school. We will see you next time. Martial arts software for school owner management on the planet.
Get KarateStudents.com, a martial arts growth consulting company for all your systems. Add HealthCoaching.com, helping school owners create a whole nother revenue stream for their school. We will see you next time.